All right. So, sir and ma'am, now we are live, so we can start the session now,
Yeah,
please.
okay. So, sir, I will start with introduction, sir. So, good evening, all. I welcome you all on behalf of Dr. Reddy's lab. And as you all know, today's topic is Get to Goal, Dyslipidemia Management in Special Populations. So, today we have Dr. Dilip Patel with us. Sir is consultant physician and diabetologist, and sir has over 15 years of experience. Sir practice at Shah Life Hospital at Mira Road and also Arpit Polyclinic at Mira Road. So, I invite sir to take the session forward.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Dilip Patel, MD physician practicing in Mira Road for last more than 10 years. Today we'll be discussing about dyslipidemia management with focus on special population groups. I'll be discussing important slides. There are many slides, a lot of trials in the presentation, so which are important and which are relevant to the discussion. I'll be going through in details. So let's start. Now, what are the various subpopulation groups which we are going to discuss is we are going to see the dyslipidemia management in elderly population, in women, in diabetic patients, in patients with chronic kidney disease. So these are the four subgroup of population in whom we are going to learn how to manage the dyslipidemia management. Now first, dyslipidemia in elderly. We all know in elderly, dyslipidemia is very common. Elderly population is classified as patients with age over more than 60 or 65 years. According to the projections, the population of age 65 and older is expected to be more than double between 2012 to 2060. And the prevalence of dyslipidemia is very high as 40.6 among the rural population of the elderly. So this group also we need to focus very strongly. Now, what are the various changes in the lipoproteins which we see with aging? With the aging, there is increase in the release of the free fatty acids from the adipocytes. So there is decrease in the oxidative capacity of the tissues. There is decrease in the mass of the metabolic active tissue. And then there is increase in the atherogenic lipids, which causes dyslipidemia. Total cholesterol increases with age. Also, LDL also proportionately increases. Triglyceride levels also increase with age. They reach a peak between 50 to 59 years in men and 60 to 69 years in female. At apolipoprotein A and B also increases with the age. However, there is no correlation found between HDL cholesterol with respect to the age. So these are the various changes of the lipoproteins which we see with the normal aging. This will skip. This is not so important. So the various trials have been done. The Jupiter trial, wherein more than 5,600 of the 17,000 participants aged 70 years and older were studied. Out of those population, more than 55% of all had an atherosclerotic cardiovascular events. The LDL cholesterol levels were less than 130 and the HSCRP levels of 2 or more without cardiovascular disease were included in the study. They were given rosuvastatin 20 mg daily, and the study showed that there was 39% risk reduction of the combined cardiovascular endpoints among patients who were given rosuvastatin 20 mg daily. Also, there was 20% reduction in the all-cause mortality rate. So, when in elderly population having dyslipidemia treated with rosuvastatin, there is a good relative risk reduction, which is seen from the Jupiter trial. The HOPE trial also, around 3,000 of the 12,700 participants aged more than 70 years were studied. They were given rosuvastatin 10 mg daily. Also, there was in this study, it showed that there was 17% reduction in the risk of the combined cardiovascular endpoints and 9% reduction in the all-cause mortality rate. This is the same which we have discussed before. Also, there were various trials like the SAGE trial, the study assessing the goals in the elderly, wherein the comparative therapy of atorvastatin 80 mg with pravastatin 40 mg were compared, and patients treated with atorvastatin had an overall lower all-cause mortality. So this all slide shows us that when atorvastatin or rosuvastatin is used in elderly population, there is reduction in the cardiovascular endpoints. Now, in elderly population, what we need to know is they have got various comorbidities. Always they practice polypharmacy, means they are on multiple drugs, and even they have multiple prescriptions from different doctors. So we should choose a statin with a less drug interaction among the elderly population. And of the various studies, it has been shown that rosuvastatin is the best, and it has got the least drug-to-drug interaction when used in elderly population. Also, subclinical myopathy occurs with the statin group of drugs. So with rosuvastatin, this myopathy incidence is very less. Also, hepatotoxicity, which is seen with statins, is less with rosuvastatin as compared to the other statins. Now we have studied about dyslipidemia management in elderly population. Now we'll be studying about the second subgroup, that is dyslipidemia management in the women's. Cardiovascular disease is a major cause of death in particularly women population. Now, what are the various conditions which are specific to women? The hypertensive disorders which are seen during pregnancy, preeclampsia, gestational diabetes mellitus, delivering a preterm or low birth weight infant, premature menopause, and hormone replacement therapy. Obesity and metabolic syndrome are also common in women. Now, what are the gender differences in statin use with compared to women? Women have lower renal clearance. There is hormonal estrogen-induced water and sodium retention. There is increased volume for lipophilic drugs. There is higher protein binding globulins, which are seen in women. There is lower body mass index. Management of dyslipidemia in women, various guidelines according to AHA-ACC guidelines in 2018. We should intervene and we should have aggressive lifestyle counseling to reduce the risk of ASCVD in women. When appropriate, statin therapy should be given in women. In the EAS guideline in 2019, also they have recommended statin therapy as a primary prevention of the atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease in high-risk women. Also, statins are recommended for secondary prevention in women with the same indication and goals as in men. Relative risk reduction in women with the various statin trials. This is not so important for us. The STELLA study, wherein a randomized trial compared over 6 weeks in women with dyslipidemia, LDL cholesterol more than 160, triglyceride less than 400. They were given rosuvastatin 10 to 40 milligram, atorvastatin 10 to 80 milligram, simvastatin 10 to 80 milligram, and pravastatin 10 to 40 milligram. In this study, it shows that rosuvastatin has got the greatest reduction in the LDL cholesterol and the non-HDL cholesterol. So rosuvastatin scores over the other statins like atorvastatin, simvastatin, and pravastatin, which is seen by this STELLA study. Now, what do we conclude? Women in the primary prevention setting should undergo risk assessment with statin therapy initiated on the basis of guideline recommendation. Women with established atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease should be treated with statin. Statin therapy is efficacious in women. And the similar guidelines as men should be followed while treating women with dyslipidemia. Now, the third subgroup of population, which is very important, is dyslipidemia management in diabetic population. So the lead study, that is learning with experts to advance diabetic dyslipidemia management study, it was a prospective cross-sectional observational study where around 4,000 diabetic patients across the India were studied. Higher prevalence of diabetes dyslipidemia is seen in the Indian diabetic population. They have an LDL levels of more than 100, which is seen as close to 70% of the Indian diabetic patients. Also, the triglyceride levels are more than 150, which is seen with close to 65% of the patients. So, every second diabetic patient in India does have some degree of dyslipidemia. So we need to address this issue in Indian diabetic patients. Now, what is the characteristic lipid profile which is seen in the diabetic dyslipidemia? These patients tend to have an elevated fasting and postprandial triglyceride. They have got a low LDL cholesterol level. They have got an elevated LDL level. There is prominence of small dense LDL particles. So this is the classical diabetic dyslipidemia profile which you see on a daily basis in our diabetic patients. The American Diabetic Association in 2019 has recommended high intensity statin therapy for all diabetic patients with atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease or in patients with a 10-year atherosclerotic cardiovascular risk of more than 20%, in addition to the lifestyle measures. Moderate intensity statin is recommended for diabetic patients aged less than 40 with additional atherosclerotic cardiovascular risk factors like an LDL cholesterol level of more than 100, hypertension, CKD, smoking, albuminuria. Diabetic patients between age 40 and 75 years without ASCVD or a 10-year ASCVD risk of less than 20, and diabetic patients more than 75 years old should be given moderate intensity statins. This is the same. What is the effect of monotherapy with statins on the various CV outcomes? Here you can see that simvastatin, this is not so important for us. The statin therapy in the diabetic dyslipidemia. The same thing, there is reduction in the overall cardiovascular disease, the coronary mortality reduction by more than 20%, myocardial infarction more than 37% reductive risk reduction, and stroke reduction. This is also one study wherein a meta-analysis of 14 randomized controlled clinical trials was done. Over 18,000 patients were studied. It showed that the statin therapy reduced the cardiovascular events by 21% and the vascular mortality by 13%. So these are very important. Statins are very important in treating the diabetic dyslipidemia. So in my practice, every diabetic patient above 40 years of age, I put them on mild to moderate intensity statin therapy depending upon their cholesterol profile. Now, with respect to the fourth subgroup, that is the CKD patients. In CKD patients, dyslipidemia is one of the strongest risk factor for adverse CV outcomes. The cardiovascular disease remains undiagnosed and untreated in patients with CKD. Mortality in CKD patients is more because of the cardiovascular disease, and they tend to develop more early ESRDs. Pathogenesis, this we will skip. This also we will skip. Now, what are the guidelines? The kidney disease improving global outcome guidelines. They recommend the use of statin with or without ezetimibe for adults more than 50 years of age or older with CKD, wherein the eGFR of less than 60 ml per minute. Patients who are not been treated with chronic dialysis or kidney transplantation, not aiming to achieve a specific LDL targets. Statins are recommended for individuals older than 50 years of age when the eGFR is 60 ml per minute per 1.3 square meter or higher. CRP should be assessed in addition to LDL cholesterol before initiating cholesterol lower treatment. Only atorvastatin and rosuvastatin were associated with clear benefits in terms of MACE reduction. Use of statins in pre-ESRD CKD patients. Now, various subgroup analysis of the large statin studies suggested that CKD subjects had similar benefits to a non-CKD individuals. Meta-analysis of 38 studies with more than 37,000 participants with CKD, but not yet on dialysis were studied. What was observed, there was a consistent reduction in the major CV events all-cause mortality, and CV deaths and MI in statin user group as compared to the placebo group. No effect of statin use on the progression of renal disease was seen. No clear effects of statin increasing the incidence of stroke were seen when this subgroup analysis of this various 38 studies were seen. So what we conclude was CKD patients with pre-end stage renal disease, statins effectively reduce the cholesterol and the LDL cholesterol level and decrease the CV risk. Now, with respect to the various dosing in the CKD patients, atorvastatin, it has got a liver metabolism. So usual dose is 10 to 80 milligram. In CKD stage 1 to 3, we usually use the full dose 10 to 80 milligram. And in stage 4 or 5, because it has got liver metabolism, we can use the full dose. With respect to rosuvastatin, it has got both liver and kidney metabolism. So usual dose is 10 to 40. In CKD stage 1 to 3, we have to reduce the dose. We can go from 5 to 40. And in advanced stage of CKD, like stage 4, 5, we should reduce the dose to 5 to 10 milligram. So these are the two commonly statins which are available in India and which we commonly use. So we have to remember the dose modification in patients with CKD, with diabetes. Use of statins in renal transplant recipient patients. Renal transplant patients should be considered for statin therapy for CV risk reduction. Statins have been proven to be safe and effective not only in the lipid management but also in protecting the graft functions and in preventing the graft rejection. No benefits of statin in subjects with microalbuminuria, because various studies have shown that statins did not affect the urinary albumin excretion or the cardiovascular events. In absence of other indications for statin therapy, there was no benefit seen in subjects that solely had microalbuminuria. In dialysis patients, statins have been shown to cause no direct harm. There is in fact possible benefit in patients with significantly elevated LDL cholesterol. Use of statin in dialytic patients. There was one Aurora International prospective double-blind study wherein around 2,776 hemodialysis patients were enrolled. After a period of 3 months, there was reduction in the LDL cholesterol by as high as 43% who were on rosuvastatin. Statin safety and renal outcomes. In acute kidney injury patients, statins have a nephroprotective role. Statin pre-treatment before coronary angiography is beneficial in reducing the risk of contrast-induced acute kidney injury in patients undergoing coronary angiography. It has got a beneficial effects in diabetic patient. Use of statins in pre-end stage CKD or in post-renal transplant patients, it demonstrates neither benefit nor harm in renal outcome. That means statins have got a neutral effect in the pre-end stage kidney disease or in the pro-renal in the post-renal transplant patients. Now, what are the important points which we studied? In special population, statins have got a proven efficacy in decreasing the cardiovascular mortality and morbidity in elderly population. In elderly patients, statins should be administered at a lower dose, and we have to be careful about the various side effects like myopathy which are seen with statins. Rosuvastatin is one of the good statin which we have in managing and it is safe with very less side effects and very less drug-to-drug interaction and can be used safely in elderly population. In women, primary prevention should undergo risk assessment. Statin therapy should be initiated based on the various guideline recommendation. Women with established atherosclerotic coronary vascular disease should be treated with statin, and statin has been shown to be very efficacious in women population. In diabetic dyslipidemia, statin therapy in mild, moderate, or high intensity statin should be used depending upon the lipid profile of the diabetic patients. Cardiovascular disease is one of the leading cause of mortality in CKD patients. Statin therapy does not reduce the cardiovascular events in dialysis patients, nor does statin therapy confer any protection in progression of the renal disease. So in our discussion, whatever we have discussed is there is difference in the dyslipidemia patterns, risk factors, and management in the elderly, women, diabetic, and the chronic kidney disease. So every case has to be individualized, and in elderly population, we have to be careful. We have to start with a lower dose, gradually up titrate the dose, and we have to be careful about statin-induced myopathy. Rosuvastatin is very safe in elderly. I have been using rosuvastatin in elderly in 10 to 20 milligram dose. I usually don't give 40 milligram. 10 to 20 milligram dose suffices, and usually the elderly don't complain of any side effects. And in women also the same guidelines are there as seen in men. Same guidelines have to be followed in starting statins in the women population. In CKD patients also we have seen that atorvastatin and rosuvastatin are safe. Atorvastatin does not require any dose management in CKD patients. However, in rosuvastatin in advanced stage of CKD, like in stage 3 and 4, the dose adjustment has to be made. So this was in short about the how do we manage dyslipidemia in the various group of patients. So any questions, I'll be happy to answer now.
Yes, sir. Manish, can you please update if any question is there? Yeah. Yeah. So, sir, there is one question from Dr. Ajay. Is it good to start statin in patient early? If yes, then what? And milligram of atorvastatin and rosuvastatin should use in adult?
See, now various guidelines have shown that above 40 years of age, each and every individual has to be on statins. Means I personally believe that it has got various pleiotropic effects. So, but then we have to be careful. We have to see the lipid profile above 40 years of age. We can safely start 10 to 20 milligram, or maybe maximum up to 40 milligram of atorvastatin and 10 to 20 milligram of rosuvastatin. And then depending upon the lipid profile, the target LDL cholesterol, what we need to achieve, we have to gradually up or down titrate the doses of the various statins available.
Yes, sir. So we'll wait for 1 more minute, sir. If any question is there, I will update, sir. Yes, sir. So thank you very much, sir, for your lecture, sir. As well as thank you all attendees for your time, sir. So, thank you, Dilip, sir.
Okay, thanks. Okay, bye. Thanks.
Bye, sir.